In this video, you will finally discover the real reason you feel empty inside, even if you've done everything society promised would make you whole. You studied, you worked, you chased success, and you followed the script they handed you. But still, when the noise fades and you're alone with yourself, there's a hollowness that refuses to leave, not the shallow explanations you've heard 1,000 times. What you're about to hear is the truth most people bury under distraction, because if you face it, your life will never be the same again. You see, most people live trapped inside a performance. From the time you were a child, you were taught to behave in ways that would earn approval. From parents, teachers, friends, society. You learned what to say, what to hide, what dreams were acceptable, and which ones would get you laughed at. Bit by bit, you built a mask, a version of yourself that fit in, that played it safe, that didn't make others uncomfortable. And here's the cost. Every time you buried a real thought, every time you swallowed your true feelings, every time you forced yourself to act in ways that weren't you, something inside you weakened. Over time, you didn't just wear the mask, you became the mask. And the deeper your true self got buried, the louder the emptiness grew. This is why people who seem successful on the outside, the ones who achieved everything they were told to chase, often confessed to feeling lost and hollow. They climbed the ladder of life only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. They reached the top, but what they wanted wasn't even there. The void inside you is not a sign that you are broken. It's a signal, a warning light. It's your soul trying to tell you you are living a life that is not your own. And no amount of distraction, no amount of pleasure, no amount of recognition will silence that truth. But here's why this emptiness is so terrifying for most people. Because facing it means admitting that the life they've built might be a lie. It means questioning the very foundation of who they are. So instead, they run. They drown it out with noise, with constant scrolling, with work, with shallow relationships, anything to avoid sitting in silence and hearing that inner voice. But the reality is this: you can't escape it forever. The emptiness will follow you, in quiet rooms, in restless nights, in moments when everything should feel perfect, but somehow doesn't. It is the shadow you cannot outrun. The good news: it doesn't have to stay this way. The very thing you've been avoiding, your emptiness, is also the key to your freedom. It's the doorway back to authenticity, but only if you're willing to stop running, to turn around, and to finally face it head on. And that is where we begin. Because in the next part, we're going to go deeper into why this feeling of emptiness exists at all, and why ignoring it will only destroy you in the end. Think about that. Imagine this. You wake up one morning and everything looks fine on the surface. You've got the job people respect, maybe a relationship others envy, maybe even the lifestyle you once thought would make you happy. You scroll through your phone, eat breakfast, head out into the world. And yet, deep inside, there's that same quiet voice whispering, "Is this all there is?" You try to silence it. You tell yourself, "I should be grateful. I should be satisfied. Other people have less." And for a moment, you almost believe it. But then the silence comes again. In the car ride home, in the shower, in those lonely minutes before you fall asleep. That gnawing emptiness is still there. This is the story of millions of people. On the outside, they look like they're living. On the inside, they're barely holding it together because they've spent their lives chasing shadows, illusions of fulfillment that vanish as soon as they're touched. Society told you the formula: go to school, get the job, find someone, settle down, buy things, collect experiences. And you followed it. But what no one told you is that this formula was never designed to make you whole. It was designed to keep you compliant, to keep you moving on the treadmill, always chasing the next thing, always believing you're just one step away from finally feeling complete. That's why the emptiness doesn't go away. You thought happiness was at the next milestone, but each time you arrive, it slips through your fingers. You get the degree, and suddenly it doesn't matter. You land the job, but it's not enough. You enter the relationship, but it doesn't heal you. The shadows keep moving and you keep running. The truth is, emptiness exists because you've been taught to measure your worth externally. You were conditioned to believe that your value comes from status, possessions, validation. And when those things fail to deliver, as they always do, the silence within becomes unbearable. Think about it. How many times have you distracted yourself when that silence appeared? Scrolling endlessly, binging shows, seeking validation online, drowning yourself in noise so you don't have to hear your own thoughts. And yet, the more you distract yourself, the deeper the emptiness grows, because distraction doesn't heal, it only delays. Here's the hard reality. The emptiness isn't something you can escape. It follows you everywhere because it's coming from you. It's not a hole in the world around you, it's a hole within yourself. And until you face that, you'll keep running in circles, chasing shadows that were never meant to satisfy you. But here's the shift. The emptiness is not your punishment. It's your wake-up call. It's the alarm ringing inside you, telling you that you've been living on autopilot, that you've been following someone else's script instead of writing your own. Most people ignore that alarm until it's too late. They drown it out until they wake up one day full of regret, realizing they've lived a life that was never truly theirs. But if you're listening to this right now, you still have time, because in the next part, we'll go even deeper into why ignoring this emptiness slowly destroys you, and why only by confronting it can you begin to find the life that actually belongs to you. The clock is ticking. Have you ever noticed how emptiness doesn't just stay still? Actually, it grows. What starts as a quiet whisper inside you, that faint sense of unease, slowly begins to spread. And if you ignore it long enough, it starts to eat away at everything in your life. At first, it shows up as restlessness. You can't focus. You're constantly reaching for your phone, constantly needing distraction, constantly waiting for something to happen. You don't even know what you're searching for, only that the silence is unbearable. Then it becomes exhaustion. You drag yourself through the day like a machine. You laugh when you don't feel like laughing. You smile for pictures, nod in conversations, keep up appearances. But inside, you're drained, because pretending takes more energy than living. And eventually, emptiness transforms into despair. That's when people break. That's when they turn to destructive habits, addictions, shallow relationships, reckless choices, anything to escape themselves. Some even give up entirely. And the saddest part? It all began with a hollow feeling they refused to face. This is the silent destruction of emptiness. It doesn't scream. It erodes, slowly, quietly, until one day you wake up realizing you've been alive for years but haven't actually lived. And here's the cruel irony. The world rewards you for this. Society applauds the mask. They cheer for the version of you that works endlessly, that consumes endlessly, that hides their pain behind polished images. No one will tell you to stop. No one will save you, because your emptiness benefits them. It keeps you chasing, it keeps you spending, it keeps you obedient. But the truth is, if you don't confront your emptiness, it will destroy you from the inside out. It will steal your time, your energy, your soul, and you won't even realize it until it's too late. So what's the alternative? It's not about filling the void with more distractions. It's about listening to it, allowing it to speak, asking yourself the questions you've been running from. Who am I really? What do I truly want? What part of myself have I abandoned just to fit in? Facing emptiness is terrifying, yes, but it's also the doorway to becoming real again, to living instead of pretending, to finally taking back the life that belongs to you. Most people will never do it. They'll keep chasing shadows, keep numbing the silence, keep pretending. But if you've made it this far, you're already different. You're already searching for something deeper, and maybe that means you're ready to stop running. If this resonates with you, stay with me. In the next part, we'll uncover how to transform emptiness into strength, how to use it as fuel instead of letting it destroy you. And if you want to keep going with me on this journey, consider subscribing. Not for me, but for you. So that every time you forget and start running again, you'll have a voice reminding you to turn back and face the truth. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, the wind whipping around you, the abyss beneath whispering fear and doubt. That cliff is your emptiness. For most people, the instinct is to step back, to retreat from the void, to turn away from the uncomfortable truth within. But what if I told you that the void isn't a threat? What if I told you it could be the most powerful ally you've ever had? Emptiness, when faced, is not a curse. It's a mirror. It reflects what you've ignored, what you've buried, what you've denied. And mirrors don't lie. They show you exactly where you are, exactly what you need to confront, exactly who you've been avoiding, yourself. The first step to transformation is acknowledgement. Stop pretending the emptiness isn't there. Stop chasing distractions that only numb it temporarily. Listen. Sit with it. Feel it. Let it speak. Let it tell you what it wants. What it wants is not another superficial pleasure. It wants your attention. It wants you to stop running from yourself and start reclaiming your life. And here's the paradox. The deeper the emptiness, the greater the potential for growth. The void is raw energy waiting to be harnessed. Pain, loss, loneliness. They are not obstacles. They are the materials of strength. Every moment you felt hollow, every time the world seemed meaningless, every night you've lain awake feeling like nothing matters. It's all fuel. Fuel to rebuild, fuel to grow, fuel to create a life that actually matters. The next step is introspection. Ask the questions no one else asks. Who am I beyond the mask? What do I desire if no one is watching? What part of me have I abandoned just to fit in? These are not easy questions. They don't have simple answers, but they are the key, because in every answer lies a fragment of your authentic self, waiting to be reclaimed. Then comes action. Transformation is not passive. It's not enough to just understand the emptiness intellectually. You must act. Strip away the distractions, the obligations, the noise that doesn't serve you. Begin to align your life with what matters to you, not what society, friends, or family expect. Start small. Start deliberately. Every choice made from authenticity is a brick laid toward rebuilding the self you lost. And here's the most powerful truth. When you transform emptiness into strength, you become magnetic. Not in the sense of attention-seeking, but in the sense that life itself begins to respond. Opportunities arise, clarity emerges, relationships deepen, and even your own mind starts to feel expansive instead of hollow. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are a creator of reality. But remember, this is a process, not a moment. Some days the emptiness will scream louder than ever. Some nights you will feel that hollow whisper clawing at your chest. And that's okay. Growth is not linear. Transformation is not painless. But each time you face it, each time you honor the void instead of fleeing it, you reclaim a part of yourself that was lost. You turn a wound into wisdom, a pain into power, a hollow into a source of unshakable strength. And here's the most subtle yet profound shift. Once you start living aligned with your authentic self, emptiness no longer feels like a void to be feared. It becomes a compass, a guide pointing you toward purpose, depth, and freedom. The emptiness that once tormented you is now your teacher, your ally, your fuel. So if you felt hollow for as long as you can remember, take this as a challenge. Lean in. Feel it fully. Question everything you've been conditioned to accept. Act deliberately toward what resonates with your soul. And slowly, imperceptibly, you will notice something extraordinary. The emptiness fades, not because it disappears, but because you've filled it with yourself. This is not a story of overnight miracles. It's a story of patience, courage, and relentless honesty with yourself. And if you embrace it, the life you feared was impossible becomes inevitable. Absorb that and prepare yourself, because in the next part, we will explore the final truth. Why facing emptiness is not just about personal growth. Instead, the key to unlocking a life of meaning that others can only dream of. Imagine standing in a quiet room, alone with your thoughts. The noise of the world is gone. No notifications, no obligations, no distractions, just you and the emptiness that once haunted you. Now imagine something different. You don't run from it. You don't try to numb it or fill it with meaningless substitutes. Instead, you face it head-on. You lean into the silence, listen closely, and finally understand that this emptiness is not your enemy. It is a doorway, a signal, a compass pointing you toward what truly matters. By now, you know the journey is not easy. You've seen how ignoring emptiness slowly destroys lives, how it creeps in when we pretend everything is fine, how it isolates us even in a crowded room. But you've also learned the secret that most people never discover. Emptiness is not a void to be feared, but a power to be harnessed. A teacher that will show you who you really are if you're brave enough to learn. Here's the truth. Life beyond emptiness isn't about perfection. It's about authenticity. It's about living deliberately, choosing alignment over approval, depth over distraction. It's about waking up each day and asking, does this serve me? Am I honoring who I really am? When you start answering honestly, life begins to transform. The hollow spaces in your heart slowly fill, not with possessions, not with fleeting pleasure, but with purpose, clarity, and the raw satisfaction of living your own story. And that is the ultimate freedom. The freedom most people never experience. Because it requires courage. Courage to stop following the script. Courage to question everything you've been taught. Courage to accept that discomfort is the price of authenticity. But once you take that step, once you truly confront the emptiness inside, life opens up in ways you never imagined. Now, here's where this journey can extend beyond you. Creating content like this, diving deep into the truths most avoid, challenging conventional wisdom, exploring the psychology and philosophy of the human mind. It's not easy. It takes research, time, and resources to bring these ideas to life in a way that truly resonates. If you've found value in this series, if it has sparked something inside you, consider helping support it. On Patreon, you can directly enable this channel to continue creating these kinds of videos. It's not about paying for content you could get anywhere. It's about being part of a movement, helping ensure these ideas reach those who need them most. Every contribution helps this message grow and reach the people who are ready to face their own emptiness and reclaim their lives. So, if you've been following this series, if it has challenged you, inspired you, or made you think differently about yourself and the world, consider joining us on Patreon. Not as a transaction, but as a commitment to your growth, and to the growth of everyone willing to face the truth. Because once you confront emptiness, you don't just survive. You thrive. You don't just exist. You awaken. And that is the final truth. Life, fully lived, begins where the hollow ends. Think about that, and take the first step toward your own awakening.